Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of the Strand Tennis Center podcast, filled with tips, advice, tennis, not tennis, just life advice too, whatever you need. Like it on YouTube, share it on the podcast as well. Thank you.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Strand Tennis Center podcast. I'm Steve Koppel, I'm your host. This one's a quick one, maybe quick. I may start thinking of something. Who knows what comes to me. I'd like to do this thought experiment. We talked about this before. We're going to go over it again. This thought experiment has really got to do with focus, how much you're it's going deep instead of wide. So you really need to, people with tennis in life have all these different ideas. They try all these different things. They don't work out. They don't stick with something, right? They don't go and stick with it. Like sometimes when you have, again, adversity, you've got to stick with what you're doing. It's not a question of like, again, there's that fine line between saying, oh, I'm doing this forever, I'm just no good. It's like, again, if you're 5'4" and you're going to play in the NBA, it's not going to happen, right? Rarely it's going to happen. So you got to be aware of, you need some baseline talents, but you got to go deeper instead of wider to me. Deep. So this thought experiment is about how to go deep. And when you're ever thinking about how do I be successful, in anything, in business, in tennis, what do I do? And think of this thought experiment. You've lost all your customers and you can't advertise. So you have no customers. Now you've lost them all. If you say you're ranked one in the world, now you're ranked 5,000. You have one customer left. You have one more match to play. All customers must come from this one customer. How would you treat that customer? What kind of results would they need to get? What would you do to make their experience so valuable they would send other friends? What type of customer would you pick? So, a lot of companies don't advertise. You rarely see an advertisement for Tesla, ever. Because the product is so good that people tell each other, right? So, in other words, if you can't advertise, you need that customer to advertise for you. So number one, your product or your effort, say you have one match left to play, you don't win that match, you don't play another match. I think you would concentrate, work as hard as you can. You would never stop trying in that match. You would never give a point away. You would never, ever hang your head, and you would fight as hard as you can. So think of it that way. I have one match to play. If I don't win that match, I never get to play again. That's how you have to think. So if you have one customer, in tennis terms, if we had one customer, I think I would travel with that customer the whole time, right? You would give them so much advice, so much free advice. You'd be there for them. You'd take their bags. You'd do everything you can. So if you think that you only have one customer and that's it, I think you would do everything for them. You would send them tips. You would help them out. You would do this. You'd wash their car. You do whatever you could to keep that customer. And I think a lot of times we, again, don't appreciate that people walk through the door. We don't appreciate that we win a match. There's been many people that win matches and they're miserable. They're so mad and pissed off after they win a match. When you need to appreciate that what you've done to win that match and realize it may never happen again. Just like a customer, they never may walk through the door again. So again, what type of customer would you pick though as well? That's a great one. Would you pick a customer that, I think you would pick a customer that is teachable, pick a customer that is appreciative, pick a customer that is a connector. Right? When you pick someone that connects, it's very important to meet connectors, right? They will then tell other people. If you had one match to play, what opponent would you pick, maybe? You pick the easiest opponent you could probably find. But that would be great. What was the other part? What would you do to make it valuable? What kind of results would they need to get? So if you had one customer, what kind of results they would need to get? They would have to go from 0 to... If it's 0 to 10, they'd have to go to 0 to 5, 0 to 7 real quick. And that means you would study, work hard, give them as much information as you can. And like I said, you would not stop feeding them information. So I just like to do that thought experiment once in a while. This is not a very long podcast. It's just showing how you can get wrapped up in all these different ideas, all these different nuances. Let's try this, let's try that, instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to focus on this one person. I'm going to do it as best as I can. I'm going to focus on this one match and do it as best as I can. Everything else doesn't matter. You've got to go deeper. So that's basically the thought today. Go deeper. Don't think so wide. Deep, deep, deep. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Hey, everybody. Hope you like the podcast. Please share it with your friends, anybody that you know, anybody that's into tennis, anybody that's into bettering themselves. Share it.